Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. I'm told it's World Toilet Day, Tony. You don't have a favorite toilet, do you?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I don't use them anymore. I'm a diaper man.
No, stop it.
Saves
Have
time.
You seen the ads?
For what?
All the ads about adult diapers on television?
I haven't seen them.
Especially late at night.
No,
so you're not
I'm
up
not awake.
for the late game.
I'm not awake.
It seems to have special appeal to people watching from 11 to 2 a.m.
I can't imagine why.
You know?
No, I'm long gone. Long gone. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Steve Kerr thinks he knows why stars are getting injured. Cam Scatterbo mixes it up at Monday Night Raw. And Steve Young joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the latest college playoff rankings. The top 3 remain unchanged: Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M. Georgia moved up to 4 because the previous 4, Alabama, dropped to 10 after losing at home to Oklahoma. The first ACC team is again out of the top 12, Miami at 13. Wilbon, who should be most upset with their ranking?
I sat down last night because you love this show.
I love
so
the show.
much.
I watched it in between.
And I watched
basketball games.
Well, this was right between.
Yeah.
And so I started taking some notes. And then after about 3 notes, I was so angry. I just tossed the notebook. And I said, you know what? I'm going to let Tony deal with the just absurdly self-absorbed particulars of this.
I'm happy to.
I know you are.
I'm happy to.
I know you are. I don't want to hear from Notre Dame. I don't want to hear from Miami. I get that Alabama could say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? We have more quality wins than Notre Dame or anybody else that might be sort of ranked around us and ahead of us. I get it. But when you've got 2 losses now, I don't want to hear it. So I'm sure you have an empathetic ear. I'll let you take it from here.
If I were Miami, I would be steamed. I have 2 losses. Notre Dame has 2 losses.
And
I beat Notre Dame head-to-head.
Yes.
Yet Notre Dame is 9, and I am, 13 or 14? They're in, I'm out.
But you're also being penalized because you're part of a stinky conference.
And I will get to all of this. But I would say what happened to head-to-head. For example, Oklahoma beat Alabama head-to-head. And now Oklahoma is 8, and Alabama is 10. A couple of weeks ago, Texas Tech beat BYU head-to-head. So now Texas Tech is, 6, something like that, and BYU is 11, and they both have 1 loss. So, again, I'm angry if I'm Miami. Now, Miami's losses are to SMU and Louisville. They are not ranked teams. And Notre Dame's losses are to Miami and A&M, and they are far greater losses. But I grew up in this culture
head-to-head.
where if I beat you head-to-head.
That's why a tiebreaker goes to head-to-head.
And you're within the charm circle, and I am not. Now, I heard what you said about Alabama.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that angry if I'm Alabama, and here's why. They take a tumble to 10. 10 is the critical number. Because one of the 12 is the ACC, and one of the 12 is the Gang of 5.
They're still going to get in.
So, they are poised to get in right now.
They can't lose again. We know that.
I might be upset if I was USC. USC is 8-2, and I think they're 15.
Beat Oregon, and you won't have to worry about it.
Wait for the next sentence.
What?
If I beat Oregon, can I jump up enough to get to 10? Because I got to get to 10. That's my point. I took the whole segment. Don't worry about it.
That's good. No, I'm glad you did, because that whole show is starting to irk me now, and you just roll around in it.
I like the show.
I know you do.
Let's move to Steve Kerr's concern with the fast pace of play in the NBA.
I'll take this whole time.
Kerr wonders if the faster play over the same condensed schedule is contributing to what seems to be a plague of injuries. At the moment, Giannis Antetokounmpo is out with a groin strain. Victor Wembanyama out with a calf strain. Anthony Davis, John Morant also out with calf strains.
They're all out.
Kerr said the Warriors' medical staff, quote, believes that the wear and tear, the speed, the pace, the mileage is factoring into these injuries, unquote. Wilbon, how does Kerr's argument sound to you?
Steve Kerr, I'm going to nominate on the short list of smartest people in the NBA over the past 35 years.
Yep.
So I don't want to argue with Steve Kerr. And I have some sense, because I've been around the Warriors so much the last 11 years, of that staff and how respected that staff is in terms of the industry and within the league among players, even opposing players. I'm not about to argue with that. What's the solution? Let's jump ahead. Well, okay, Steve, if I was sitting with Steve, and I hope to sometime soon, I would just say there's one solution. Steve Kerr knows what it is.
Take out the 3.
No.
No, that's my solution.
I know that's yours.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because the pace of play is such, because everybody's running down the court to fan out for threes.
I know, but wait a minute. You love the three.
Doesn't matter. It's bad for the game. If you take out the three, the pace slows because you have to work from mid-range.
I got another one.
That's the radical
I got a better one.
What?
That is the radical
That's
one.
The radical
I got a more reasonable one.
What?
Cut 12 games out of the damn
Owners
schedule.
aren't going to do
They're
that.
not, and the players either.
Owners put
you
up
know
the
why?
money.
Because everybody's got to make $50 million on the back end now. If you want to have first of all, it would improve the product. It would improve the health of the players.
You're right.
But nobody gives a damn because they want to continue making the same amount of money.
You constantly criticize the NFL. You say that they have no concern for player safety.
Now I'm criticizing the NBA.
And it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
No concern for player safety. I say you take out the three, but I think the NBA has made peace with this. And you know why? Because networks like this one throw money at them to have their product, and fans throw money at them to sit in those courtside seats. And so they are able to pay Joel Embiid and everybody else $100 million, and they never play. And they never play. People make peace with it.
Everybody's out. You can't count on going to a game, seeing anybody you paid for in the NBA now.
I think that fans, if you promise them, as has been the case so far, that everybody plays in the playoffs, they're okay.
And that's what the league is banking on. But how great would the playoffs be if you had 70 and guys charged in with healthier
with you.
momentum, more spirit?
I think the radical cut is the three. I do.
You can't cut the
It's
three.
changed the game.
What do you do to Steph Curry? Steph Curry is no lower than the second most important player in the league the last 15 years, and maybe one.
Steph Curry's had his whole career with the
He's
the three.
rearranged
It's not
the
going
game.
to matter. He's out. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about next time. Go ahead.
No, I've gotten used to the three. Now let's grapple with Cam Scatterboo's appearance on Monday Night Raw.
This is entirely scripted. I am sure that Scatterboo and that comedian fellow he was with were told beforehand this is what's going to happen.
Course.
I'm sure they did everything but rehearse it, and maybe they even rehearsed it. Right? Now, because I have notes on this. If the question is, did Scatterboo put himself in danger? Not really. It's a small shove. It's a small shove. Nobody got hurt. It was ballet. That is wrestling ballet. My sense, look, he's out for the whole season. He's not coming back in 2 weeks to save the Giants. The Giants stink. 500 Scatterboos can't save them. He was always going to come back next year. Does it look sort of dumb? Okay, it looks sort of dumb, but it doesn't affect his timeline at all.
It doesn't. I'm going to agree with you right down the line. It's the optics. That's all it is.
That's right.
That's all it is. Anybody who knows anything about wrestling and those New York talk show hosts have to know about wrestling. No matter what generation you followed. I didn't follow John Cena and all the Undertaker. I didn't follow any of that. I followed Bruno Sammartino.
Ricky Starr.
I can identify with that in New York, even though he wasn't in Chicago. It's all choreographed.
That's right.
Yes, but you still can have stuff happen.
But it didn't look like it did.
People still get hurt.
But it didn't look like it did.
Even in the choreography.
I understand.
So when I saw it, I went, whoa, Scatterboo's out there? Yeah. But you're right. Stop. Just get over it. He's out for the season.
You know what Giants fans ought to worry about? What? Who's the next coach going to be?
Ooh.
Don't worry about this kid. This kid will be there in September. Let's take a break. Coming up, Patrick Mahomes regrets a decision made late in the Chiefs' loss to the Broncos, and we will ask Steve Young about that.
We'll also ask him whether a bad call that went his way ever made him feel guilty. You know what my wrestlers were? Dick the Bruiser, Nick Bockwinkel.
Remember
the Blackjacks, Mulligan and Lanza?
Remember him? Lex Longevin, or maybe he was just a New York guy. Yeah.
No.
Welcome back to Pardon the Interruption, presented by Crown Royal, part of Happy Hour.
We've got some NFL questions for our great friend, the man who just edged me out for second in the 1983 Heisman Trophy voting, Hall of Famer Steve Young. Let's start with this. Patrick Mahomes says he regrets a moment on the Chiefs' final drive when he noticed a pre-snap shift with one of Denver's safeties that could have opened up a long pass, but he didn't trust it. He threw a short pass incompletion instead. Do you recognize that feeling that Mahomes had?
I'm smiling because that's the job of quarterback is like managing happening all the time. And I love that the vulnerability of Patrick to express it. to actually tell people like that happens. How many times does that happen? You know, you think about every Monday is that time when the team comes together in the offensive team room and they watch the film in the dark, in the silence. And as the coach goes back and forth, how many times would we be in the middle of in a place coming that ruined the game, and it was me throwing an interception or something, and you could see the read, and you could hear the offensive lineman like groan, like, oh, here it go, oh, like you play quarterback, or you know the read, or that you know what's coming, but everyone can play quarterback, and so it's not just worrying about it in the game and missing it moment. You got to worry about it on Monday, because now the whole team in silence. You got to wait for the groan for everybody's like, really? So I started after time when someone would make a mistake or drop a ball. I'd like, oh, because someone had to groan about somebody else than just the quarterback. Because everybody, I mean, Brent Jones and Jerry Rice and like Corey Harrison Hurst, they thought they could play quarterback, which I understand. Like everybody wants to, but like in the meeting room, just let the quarterback screw up, go by every once in a while. Like it doesn't have to. We don't have to groan every time as a team.
Feet to the fire, Steve. Feet to the fire.
Feet to the fire, baby.
Yeah.
We're going to stay with the Chiefs for a second, who are, of course, 5-5. Playing the 8-2 Colts on Sunday, is there anything different that a leader or leaders would do this week, knowing that they're all going into what pretty much is a must game on Sunday?
So you think about the Chiefs. They have the mantra we had back in, the 80s and 90s with the 49ers, like Super Bowl or bust. We own it. And that's a fact. And because you own that, every game is a must win. Every game is the game of the week. Every game is being covered by, your Sunday night or Monday or, it's like the national game. So you get used to having that be the norm. And so you get to this moment, which is a must-win game, and the Chiefs are built for it. They're that team that, we're 5-5. We've screwed up, Super Bowl or bust, and now we got to prove it to one of the better teams in the league, and it's on us. And I think the best comes out in the teams that are ready for that kind of thing, and the worst comes out for the guys that aren't ready. And I just think the Chiefs are that team that can respond.
Speaking of teams with Super Bowl or bust attitude, the Eagles benefited from just an awful interference call against the Lions late in Sunday's game. As a quarterback, if you get the benefit of a call, does any part of you ever feel guilty that you got it? Or, does it average out? What's the feeling there?
You're asking me about review, or microscopic review of the. But you started to believe in the rub of the green. Like you believe that in time it would even out. But the pain of a screwed up call that you knew changed the game. Remember, as a quarterback, your number one relationship was with the head referee because he's standing right next to you. And so the best relationships I had on the field were with the head referees through the years. Ongoing conversations from game to game, talking about plays, what happened, and you loved that. The art of the great head referees were that they got the sense of it. They knew it's like, oh, we screwed that one up, or yeah, sorry about that, Steve. That was, or yeah, you lucked out there because and like you had that going on. But I loved what I hated with the robots. The head referees that were robots, because then they weren't going to be contextual to the moment. They'd feel it. And that's what happened against the Philly in the Eagles game. The moment overwhelmed that referee, that backline judge or whoever it was, because it's like, yeah, that's a call that you don't make most of the time. You certainly don't call it in the fourth quarter, and you never do it with the game on the line because it's a rub of the green, bro. Like that's something you don't get in the way of. Like leave it alone. But they're trying to get rated so they can get a playoff game. So it's like, oh, that's officially, I think, by technicality, that's a foul. And he throws the flag and the game's over. It's like, no, bro, that was not a foul, contextual to the moment.
We will get you out of here on this, and we've talked about this all week. You've been a starter and a backup in your career. Shedeur Sanders had 0 practice snaps with the first team when he entered that game on Sunday. What sort of a position does that put you in as a quarterback?
Well, Tony, that's super hard, right? Like to as if prepare for a game that you don't get practice snaps, you don't get the opportunity. Like that's a tough spot. The best advice I ever got, and I'm sorry if I've said this before, was when I was backing up Joe Montana. I hated that because that wasn't the job that I wanted. It wasn't the job that I thought I was going to have. And one of my mentors grabbed me and says, you know what, Steve, the problem with you is that you don't understand that the job that you want, that you need, that you think you deserve, you can't have until you're the best in the world at the job you have today. And so to be a great backup was painful for me to hear, like, ugh, like backup, great. But what I did was I took his word. It stung me. I'm going to be the greatest backup. And what you do is you prepare as if every week. You memorize the game plan by Wednesday. You help the quarter, and in helping the starter get ready. And then, so Shedeur is going to be in a much better spot if he's gone through the rigor of being the best backup quarterback that, in the world, in that mind. So then when you're called on to not be a backup, but to be a starter, you're actually ready and you can deal with it in a better way. Because you're right, Tony. If you just sit back and don't prepare and just watch the cheerleaders, and then all of a sudden you get called on the field and you haven't had the snaps, it's a disaster. Like, and you've seen it. It's bad.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah,
hard to watch.
Can't get worse. If he gets in again, he can't be worse than that. I can't imagine.
It gets worse fast.
Yeah, Steve, as always, great pleasure
Thank you,
for us.
Steve.
Appreciate
it.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Good to be with you guys.
Let's take one last break. Still to come. Team USA takes it to Uruguay.
And 2 young NHL stars post hat tricks on the same night. One of them I care about.
It is interesting to me that a quarterback sees a situation, because we had Jeff Saturday speak to this, differently than a lineman sees this situation.
Yeah.
That his empathy and his sympathy are different at that point, because one guy played the position.
Yeah, and one guy nobody else has empathy for on the field.
Right.
Nobody,
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
You are watching Pardon the Interruption, presented by Crown Royal, part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 67th birthday, Michael Ray Wilbon.
Oh, jeez.
Wilbon was one of the original co-hosts of Pardon the Interruption program.
Was?
He spent 14 years there before leaving to become a linguistics professor at his alma mater, the University of Northwestern. Wilbon taught a course entitled The Following Things Are Garbage. Included in the syllabus were college teams running the table, all odds coming from Las Vegas, and anyone who thinks LeBron is better than Jordan.
Amen.
Wilbon's class was so popular, he added another one entitled Hocus Pocus Junk. Included in that syllabus, most coaches of the Bears, except Lovie Smith, anyone who thinks today's starting pitchers are any good, and cheeseheads and people in marketing.
Again, amen.
Wilbon is currently working on a biography of Richard Dent entitled Welcome to My Text Chain.
That's pretty good stuff. What scares me is the gray over time in those pictures. By the way, this is the culmination of a lot of birthdays. Ahmad Rashad, Patrick Kane. I just mentioned a few.
This is your birthday. Don't worry about it. Happy anniversary, George Blanda. This is posthumous, but on this day 64 years ago, the legendary quarterback and kicker threw a record-tying 7 touchdown passes for the Houston Oilers against the New York Titans in the AFL. Blanda, who started his career in 1949 for the Bears, originally retired because George Halas thought he was washed up as a quarterback and only wanted him to kick. Blanda joined the Oilers of the newly formed AFL in 1960 and proceeded to win 3 AFL titles, 2 in Houston, 1 with the Raiders. Blanda, who once threw 42 interceptions in a single season, played 26 seasons. His final one as a kicker for the Raiders in 1975 at age 48. Blanda remains the oldest player to ever take part in an NFL game.
I remember the end of George Blanda when he was kicking, when he was with the Raiders. People threw the football down the field. There were no swing passes for 2 yards. There's no West Coast offense. There's none of that. Chuck the ball. Right. So therefore, sometimes it got intercepted.
42? 42?
It's a lot.
Happy trails, Mikko Rantanen. The Dallas Stars forward was ejected from last night's game against the Islanders for shoving Alex Romanov into the boards. Romanov had to be helped from the ice. Ugh. Islanders coach Patrick Waugh was furious, appearing to yell at Rantanen, quote, "You're not going to bleep and finish that game," apparently in reference to the rematch between the teams later this season. Rantanen's coach said he had a different take, saying Rantanen had clipped skates and was off balance, so he put his hands out.
He looked off balance. It looks like a collision, not a shove. But
Patrick Waugh,
he's going to go crazy anyway.
He gets florid.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with Patrick Waugh. Don't mess around with that. Let's go to the big finish.
Let's do it.
LeBron, 11 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds in his season debut. Are you impressed?
I'm impressed the way he fit in. He is diagnosed what the Lakers need and did exactly that. I'm impressed with the Lakers, period. The U.S. men beat Uruguay 5-1. Is that a big deal?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the World Cup.
You got a while to wait. You got some months.
I don't know. Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini both had hat tricks last night. Are you impressed?
The Blackhawks are only a couple points out of third. They're the first wildcard team. And Bedard is the engine, yes.
Okay.
Duke beat Kansas. Michigan State crushed Kentucky. Bigger deal from last night.
Again, I don't know. Michigan State looked very good, but it's very early. I don't know. Last one, 9-3 Rockets at the 10-5 Cavaliers tonight. Who you got?
The Rockets. I just like the way they were 0-2. And they got Kevin Durant, and there was a lot of sort of attention given to them. I'd even say some pressure. They have won 9 of 10 since. I know it's not Detroit hot. The Rockets look good, as advertised.
We're out of time. We will try and do better the next time. Let me get this name right. Tyler Hainsworthy, thank you for the letter.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, knuckleheads. And now, your sports center.
He and his dad watch the show every night. Separate places, but they watch.
Good for them.
PTI. Guys, bonus segment.
All right, Wilbon, what was your biggest takeaway from LeBron's season debut?
How seamless he made it, Tony. Usually when players as prolific as LeBron James come back into a lineup after a month in a season, you got to make adjustments. You're going to lose a couple of games. You got to get used to that guy because he's going to have the ball. Damn it, he should have the ball. He's LeBron James. But LeBron doesn't subscribe to that. You look at last night, Tony. He played 30 minutes and took 7 shots. Ahead of him in number of shots taken, Luka had 22. Austin Reeves had 11. Hachimura had 8. Ayton had 13 shots. And LaRavia, who you probably couldn't identify.
Could not.
All right? He had 10 shots. So LeBron didn't care about that. He's been watching and diagnosing what this team needs. As a result, the Lakers, to me, are a threat. Denver's the number 1 threat in the West to OKC. The Lakers might be right behind them.
Okay. I'll be very brief.
Leaving out Houston, but
LeBron James may no longer be the best player, but he can still be the most important player if he is willing to sublimate his game and let Luka flourish.
Yep.
You know, that's why you make that trade that is insanely offered to you, that you can get Luka. It's going to be Luka's team. And if LeBron wants to be cooperative with that, if he wants to embrace that, he is still so good that he can make Luka better, make the Lakers better. And I think indeed they are a championship contender.
Yeah.
I really do.
No, we agree on that. And Tony, I think that LeBron doing that, I think that only enhances who LeBron
100%.
is and who he has been
100%.
and his importance, not just to the Lakers, but to the league. First of all, anybody under 40 years old want to watch and pay attention to the old man and what he's doing and how he fits in and what kind of teammate he is? That was sort of fun to watch.
So on the list of what's really important in LeBron's career, everybody will remember the block he made, a defensive play, not an offensive play.
Yeah.
If he allows Luka to be the star and is supportive,
he more than allows it. And he sets it up.
And then when they need a big play and they don't expect it, he makes a big play. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun to have LeBron back. That's it. We're done. Back to you.